Welcome back to the Core Chronicles number 8 RWA mini-series, to the second episode. I'm Ockert Loubser, CEO of CoDeTech and the co-founder of the Core blockchain. And today we're diving into the real muscle of the RWA revolution, the Core Tokenizer Platform, aka Core Token Smart Contract Platform, if you want to get fancy at parties. Now, yes, everyone and their grandma has a token platform. But here's the thing. Ours isn't a copy-paste and pray-it-works situation. This is compliance-native, enterprise-grade, plug-and-deploy tokenization. Basically, if tokenization was a car, this isn't some used hatchback with mystery stains. It's a fully loaded supercar that basically comes with its own legal team. You want some examples? Well, sure. Let's take car engines. Every piston, gasket, and bolt gets its own CBC20 token. They roll up into NFTs, forming category sets and ultimately one big engine NFT. You want to replace a piston? Well, the entire digital product passport updates in real time. Why don't you try doing that with a warranty booklet, right? And now, switching gears. Why don't we go into consulting, perhaps? Something intangible. 500 hours of strategy tokenized into 500 tokens. Each hour is logged, burned, and tracked. No more invoices buried in spam. No Derek trying to expense his, let's call it, thinking hours. But it doesn't stop at creation. You want to know what this beast does? Full asset onboarding. Doc authentication via DPP, basically the abbreviation for Digital Product Passport. Legal wrappers, the good kind, not the Christmas kind, if you know what I mean. It's fully backed by identity enforcement with CorePass. Lifecycle control, where you can freeze, burn, redeem. It's got live issuance and secondary listings on Ping Exchange. And here's the mic drop. There's literally no code required. So you just select your asset, define your parameters, attach docs, and boom. The platform spits out a compliant, tradable digital instrument faster than Derek can waste his lunch break. In short, a real automated launchpad for tokenized RWAs. This isn't theory. It's live. It's tested. It's already in production. And soon, yes, I said soon, it's going public for all of you to play with. Currently, a select few pilot projects, who shall not be named, are currently busy helping us to refine, spit, and polish it up to be even more shiny than military boots. Now, while others are still theorizing about metadata standards and document hashes or real-world oracles, and probably still dreaming about interoperability of digital assets, I'd say buckle up. Because whether it's carbon credits, diesel, consulting hours, renewable energy, copper, or even collectible whiskey barrels, we're not dreaming about it. We've already built it. Now, here's also the thing. Those that were not paying attention to last week's video, watch it again carefully. Stop getting comfortable. Maybe whip out your pen and a paper and take some notes. It's fully operational and integrated with Shopify, the actual platform, and fully operational in the mainnet of the Core blockchain. Please do me a favor and read the description and click on the smart contract link, which is all there below that video. And lastly, Derek. If Derek asks whether Core blockchain is really integrated and he can tokenize his lunch break, let's just say You can't get a mint and a hash if there's no blockchain present. And if he attaches proof of attendance and his CO2 carbon footprint certificate, we'll talk. But for now, let's jump in. So we are finally looking at the Core Tokenizer, or aka Core Token Smart Contract Platform. Now, first and foremost, disclosure. Reason why the platform is not to your availability is because of the KYB in CorePass that needs to be released prior to us being able to release this platform, because we need to know who's the entities and they need to be able to identify themselves and also need to be able to showcase that who owns the product. So, little spoiler alert, we are quite far along the way with the KYB. Smart contracts and everything have been tested. We're currently busy testing the application itself and doing a little bit of bug fixes itself. And then the second thing, another spoiler alert, in the next update, this will be released, which is the passkey. Passkey is actually the connector for any website to be able to utilize CorePass login methodology and the connector and things like this to actually be able to connect identities and things like this utilizing the Core ID, which is a great thing, and it will be implemented into this platform also. So here's a little bit of a rundown of the platform. So we've got our dashboard where everything actually happens, of creating the asset to tokenizing or fractionalizing or asset portfolio, or even the vehicle tokenization. There's a bunch of different things that you can actually have a look here at, like the CBC 20, CBC 721, the 1155. You have, so for example, if you click on this, we haven't created an asset, so there is nothing for us to fractionalize or tokenize or anything of the sort. There is nothing in our portfolio, in our assets or anything, because we haven't created any assets. Vehicle tokenization, we can go and tokenize the vehicle itself, supercar, hypercar, grand tourer, track car, these types of things. So we can go and select that, but that is quite a lengthy process to go through there. Then, of course, we've got asset categories. You can have a look at these in your own time, pause the video and things like this and go and have a look through them. There's some very, very interesting ones here. Right. Now, what is quite important is, first things first, we're going to create an asset. We'll do a precious metals asset. So I will go and say next. We will call this gold bar if we want. Let's just make that nice. There we go. Description. Purest gold there is. Okay. Valuation, let's say it's 100,000. Let's say it's $1 million. Okay, that's $1 million. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Okie dokie. Not going to put in an owner address and a custodian. We can probably say is, let's say, Gold Reserve Austria, for example. Next, okay, we have metal type. The metal type is gold. The purity, let's say it's 99.9% gold. Weight is 1 kilogram. Mint, let's say it's the Wien Mint. Call it that. Serial number, we don't have a serial number there, we'll just type in that. SA number, very, very nice number, that one. Storage location is Vienna. And the location is Austria. Right, okay, next. So now we can go and upload some documents. So I will go and select a document that we can go and upload. Right, and then what happens is in the background, the digital product passport is actually now starting to vet and verify these documents. This is actually a very interesting moment. This is where the AI comes in and it takes multiple documents. Now, I'm only uploading one document here. But the important thing of what we are doing here is that we're actually vetting, verifying, cross-referencing, checking And this is not just the information in the documents, because we do OCR, extract it, put it into JSON files, verify and vet it and things. First it's text, then into JSON files, and then it actually allows us to take that information and make sense of the information. But what we're also doing, and then basically being able to have that information of the JSON file, you're able to put that into metadata, which you can then stipulate that this metadata is not being fed into the system, but it is actually being extracted from the documents itself. And it can also be utilized to cross-reference if you have a feeder of metadata that you want to put in. Also, on top of this, what is important is that it cross-references information in between different documents. So if you have a bill of lading, you have a shipper's bag, you have a packing list, you have a invoice, you have the lab certificate, you have the, let's say, for example, a certificate of origin, these types of things. It will cross-reference the information in between these, but it will also take the documents, verify that there's been no alterations in the pixelation, verify actually the metadata of the document itself when it was created, all these types of things, cross-reference multiple other things also that is linked to it. And then we also have other feeds. But I'll be showcasing this platform as a little surprise a little later during this series for you all to be able to actually see what happens there. Now, let's move on. So we have now actually verified via the digital product passport. We have vetted and verified the documentation. So there you have the asset summary, precious metals, gold bar, $1 million, one file, location is Austria, the KYC is pending. Documents is uploaded, metadata is completed, and we're going to say create the asset. Now it's creating the asset, so asset was successfully created. And now we can go and select whether we want to tokenize this asset, whether we want to fractionalize. Okay, we can't fractionalize yet because we first need to tokenize it. It now needs to go into a token itself. So let's go into that process. Now we have our verified gold bar here that we can now go and tokenize. So we can select that and say next. Here, we can make this into a fungible token, into a non-fungible token, and also into a fractional NFT. And there you can see CBC20, CBC721, and the CBC1155. You can also see like divisible is unique, and divisible is yes, and unique is no. You have, this one is not divisible, but it is unique. So what this actually means is that you can either divide the asset, but each asset, so if you, let's say, for example, you have 100 of one particular item, and you say, okay, right, we're going to divide it into each token equals one representative. That representative is not unique. It is just a representative of the holistic, but it's just divided into 100. Then what you have is if you have a fungible token, a non-fungible token, that is not divisible. So that means it's a one singular unit, and it is unique. Or you can have a fractional NFT, which basically is divisible and unique. That means, like, for example, if we take a commodity like sugar, you have 130 bags of sugar, or let's say 130 tons, 1 ton bags. Now, each bag needs to be separately represented that this is the bag that you're owning, because if you want to have physical delivery of that in a commodities exchange, then you need to be able to say, okay, well, this is my bag that I've purchased and my token is representing that exact bag. That is actually the fractional NFT CBC1155, which allows for the divisibility, but also for each item being unique. Right, having explained that and that mouthful, we need to select one. Let's make this a CBC 20. So we're going to say next. Now we've got the token configuration. So we got to put the basic settings. So we're going to call this GBB gold bar bullion, and we can call the wait, hold on. We got to put the name. So let's call this gold bar. Oh dear. What did I do here? Sorry, I clicked off. My mistake. We'll just go through it again. Select. Okay. Gold bar bullion. Make that nice. Okay, and the token symbol is going to be GBB. Okay, total supply is going to be 100. So, and the decimal places, now you can go and select what is your decimal places. We only want like US dollar cents. Okay, and the custodian is Vienna gold bar, Vienna Mint. Let's call it the Vienna Mint. Right. So now it's ready for deployment, and we can say, okay, deploy the token. So now it will go and deploy the token. So it's writing the smart contract. So there you go. Asset tokenized successfully. There's a smart contract that is being put up. Well, there you can see I've got 1 million in my assets. You can see I've got everything there. We can now actually go and activate this on the exchange itself. Now, there's a magnitude of things that you can actually do here in this platform, which is very interesting. Apart from being like a type of a launch pad of the RWA and things like this, I'm going to take you through some smart contracts that we have developed, which is, of course, I'm going to give a shout out to Pullman Global, very dear friends of ours that own this company. They are very large commodity traders, specifically in sugar, cornstarch, tapioca flour, all kinds of things, which is coming from multiple places around the world, which they're importing into the United States. They actually helped us quite a bit with providing us their documents and helping us to train our AIs to understand certain things, to understand their flow process of how the trading is taking place and things like this. So a huge shout out to them, and thank you very much for helping us in this manner. Now, the first things first is I'm going to show you the Pullman Cornstarch smart contract. And this was exactly what I was explaining. When you are actually creating the metadata and creating all the documents, you're getting the documents into a JSON file, which is open. You have the lab results, which is also in a JSON file. So these have actually been extracted into text files, then converted into JSON files, which are actually smart text files that you can then actually apply. So you can either put it into tables and things like this, and then you can go and import it into CSV formats or Excel or these types of things. Of course, we have here token expiration. So this is when the token expires and cannot be traded anymore because there's expiration on Cornstarch. This is when it will stop being tradable, so you cannot trade it anymore. So it is a few days prior to the expiration date. Here's the origin country. The port of discharge is Houston, Texas. Shipment amount is 1,100. Shipment unit is in bags. So I'll drop in the description below the video, I'll drop actually this actual smart contract that you can go and have a look at. I'm not going to showcase these documents, but when you do click on them, they are permission based, so not everyone can see them. Only the people with the access granted can actually view these. But here they are fingerprinted, so each document gets exactly fingerprinted and then gets hashed into the blockchain itself, which is linked also to their validity of the document. In the digital product passport, you cannot move forward with less than an 85% validity of the document itself, stipulating that this document is a valid document. If you have a below 85%, then you cannot proceed unless you are signing your own. Let's say, for example, you're assigning you are assigning your own responsibility to it. So, for example, if you have a document which is an invoice, which you don't want other people to see what is the amounts that you paid, and you redact the information out of that, of course, it will fail when it goes through the digital product passport. Now, what we are currently busy doing, these are things that we're busy working on, which then actually allows you to stipulate the reasoning as to why the document has failed and what is the purpose of your signature, that you're taking sole responsibility to add certain parts of the information on the document into your digital product passport, which is valid, and some of the information is hidden. So there will be like a reasoning behind it that you can go and select, which you can stipulate. Of course, the AI will also verify and vet that that is the reasoning itself in the document and actually processing whilst it's processing that document. So there's also no room for cheating there in that process. Then also we have the lab results, which you have here. Here I will showcase another smart contract, which is the RWA Pullman Sugar. So here you can actually go see the token tracker. We've got all the information. This had a lot more documents in here. There was a very interesting test that actually took place where certain of the documentation, which they did not inform us, which they did alter. And then when we ran it through the digital product passport, we then stipulated, you altered these documents. And it was a very interesting process that we went through to actually showcase these things and to do these things and to see someone trying to also see if it's really working or not. So thank you very much for that, Pullman. It was really, really cool of you guys. So here you have this smart contract. Then we also have a vehicle contract itself, which we are also currently busy testing. I'm not going to disclose what this is for, but there is some really interesting things that are happening. We have several other customers also that we are looking into these things. And that is basically a wrap of the smart contracts and the Core Token smart contract platform. I will, of course, at a later stage, go into every single category and discuss absolutely everything around here, what it all means and what we can do and things like this. Let's move on. So, with all that said, let's put it bluntly. If you can dream it, sketch it on a napkin, or even drunkenly mumble it at 3 a.m., this platform can probably tokenize it. Real estate, tokenize it. Whiskey barrels, tokenize it. Derek's unpaid strategic thinking hours. Sure. But only if we're feeling cruel. At this point, the only question left after every example is, of course, but can you tokenize it? And here's a little spoiler. Yeah, we probably already have. So, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and in the spirit of progress, and maybe some mild mischief, let's start building, ladies and gents. Because it's not just coming, it's already happening. And Derek, no, you still can't tokenize your lunch break. And I don't know anybody who wants to have lunch with you. Well, maybe I might a little later. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.